Hello world, how's it going? It's James here, and now it is week 5 since I've had my hair transplant. Again, don't really think there is much to report on as it stands at the moment. Couple of things though. I've now noticed the shedding really decreasing on my front sight. So the last 3 showers that I had over the last 3 days, there were actually no hairs on my hands at all, and I was like, yes, we are getting rid of this shedding phase. And I'm not gonna lie, this morning I found 1 hair on my hand in the shower, so maybe not completely over that shedding phase, but definitely stopping now. So I'm happy with that, and I don't really think it looks as though it's thinned out too much. Of course it looks weird. I think I am definitely in the ugly duckling stage, but I think I'm rocking the ugly duckling. I've seen a lot worse, so I think I'm doing okay. And to be honest, I don't really go anywhere without a cap anyway. If I'm riding, I've got my helmet on, and as soon as I've stopped riding, I switch from my helmet to my cap, so there's probably only about 5 seconds where it's really exposed to the world, so I'm okay with that. 5 weeks, like 5 weeks has just flown by. It's going really, really quick. And so obviously I know that this isn't an immediate result. I knew that when I was going for my procedure, and I knew that there was going to be a long time to have to wait until I see results, up to 12 months, which I was prepared to do, otherwise I wouldn't have gone through with the surgery. All I can say is that it's gone really quickly. Like, I'm really surprised how fast 5 weeks has flown by. So I know that they say that around about the 3 to 6 month mark is when you start to see new growth. If I can get to month 2 this quickly, then great. Month 3, even better. With that said, I know they say it's 3 to 6 months, but when you see on the close-up, I already think that there's like small stubbly parts of growth here already. So I'm like really shocked by that. And the back as well, my donor site is really flaky at the moment. I didn't realize until a friend actually told me that I was flaking really bad. But that could probably be the reason why I've had so much itchiness around the back recently. There's probably a lot of skin that's dried out and is shedding off the back of my head. So that would explain why it's so itchy, but there's no pain whatsoever. It's really comfortable. It doesn't even feel like I've had any work done there anymore. Let's give you some close-ups now just so you can see the progress. So there's my close-up on the front sight. As you can see, still redness, still a lot of shedding, and then we get to the middle of my head where there's a lot of my original follicles pumping out hair, which looks really crazy. If I tilt my head back, you'll see the length of them as well. They're getting really quite insane. But my hairdresser friend said that she'll sort those out for me and she'll even it out. And again, I'm probably going to give the back sight here another going over with a grade 1 clipper, because that's growing quite fast. And as you know from last week's video, I did buzz that off myself. You can see here where most of the hairs have shed from predominantly. Similar situation on the other side here. But if you can see, if I can get it to focus, it does look like I have like stubbly areas. Like, I basically have a 5 o'clock shadow on my forehead, but I can really see these little kind of stubbly hairs showing through. Again, not sure whether they're just part and parcel of the follicles kind of breaking through the skin, and then they're due to be shed as well. I'm not sure, but it kind of gives me signs of hope that there's growth and that there's something going on there. Because I was quite scared for a while, you know. You have this procedure done and you kind of just fear the worst and think, oh well, there's not going to be any much difference. But I really do think that you can see some progress. And I'll show you the donor site. So of course it's really hard for me to see the donor site, but from what friends have said, there is still some redness there. There's some flaky skin, like I was saying a little bit earlier, but no pain, no discomfort, nothing like that. So out of sight, out of mind, right? Okay, and question time now. So as you might know, what I'm looking to do now is anytime any comments come on my videos, I'm going to look to answer those questions in person on the next video. So a couple of you have left some questions. So firstly, thank you for your support. Thank you for asking these questions and giving me the opportunity to answer them on video. And let's see if we can give you some answers in today's video. So the first question here is from Darren. Darren asked a couple of questions here, but I think they're really useful, important questions that maybe I haven't covered in so much detail in my previous videos. So Darren asks, what do you recommend taking while having the work done? For example, music, an iPad. Darren, I didn't take any of these things with me, but in hindsight, I totally would. At the time, I guess I was just too kind of scared to actually ask whether it was okay to listen to an iPod. There was a huge TV at the end of the operating room, and I was kind of just too scared to ask them to put it on. So maybe if you've got more balls than me, then absolutely go for it. Like, because the next question you ask, does the time pass quickly? Hell no. It's the worst part of it all. It's absolutely agonizing having to stay there for 8 hours, and if you haven't got some form of entertainment, you're going to be like me. You're going to be wanting to pull your own face off by the end of that procedure. The fact that you have to wait for an additional 2 hours after your procedure's complete brings you to total hospital time 10 hours, and if you haven't got anything to do while you're in there, God help you. That was me though. I didn't take anything with me. I was just far too excited to get the procedure over with, that I completely forgot my iPod, any form of entertainment, any device that had a Wi-Fi connection, and so all I did was count tiles and twiddle my thumbs and fall asleep, which is something that I also don't recommend because they will continue to wake you up on the operating table. They don't want you falling asleep. They need you awake. Next question that you asked as well was, did they use the air injection method or needle for the anesthetic? I'm not entirely sure what the air injection method is. When I tried to have a look for the air injection method, all I got was a bunch of results about car mechanics. I can't guess what the air injection method is, but I can let you know what method of anesthetic they used. It was a small kind of gun that essentially felt like if you ever took a lighter apart when you were a kid and you had the little electric spark thing and you go around like electrocuting your friends with it. It feels like a small electric shock, and they maybe shoot your head about 12, 13 times all around the site, and then they go through and use the needle with the actual anesthetic in. But I'm told that this kind of small electric shotgun, I think I called it the clicky gun in earlier videos, this little electric shotgun shocks the nerves, and so it acts as a kind of mild numbing agent, which then allows them to use the anesthetic needle without so much pain. I didn't really experience any pain whatsoever with the needle, so the little clicky gun really did the trick. I would say that it's uncomfortable, but that's just because you really experience about 12 or 13 kind of tiny electric shocks on the front of your head, and your head is a sensitive area. You know, there's a lot of nerve endings on your head, so it is a sensitive area. Other than that, it wasn't too much discomfort. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, it's probably like a 4, 4.5. Definitely less pain than a tattoo if you've ever experienced one of those. So yeah, I think they use this small electric clicky gun. I'm not sure if it's the air injection method that you refer to, but I couldn't find anything on air injection when I had a look. So sorry, Darren. That's the best as I can do for you. And then another important question from Darren as well is does Dr. Bowie keep check of the works throughout the day? And yeah, he does. I know one of the big concerns for people is that they go to get these procedures done and then the procedures aren't performed by the doctors. I never had a problem with this because that's pretty much the same way as practices work within this country. It's rare that a doctor will perform a surgery, but a doctor will diagnose and prescribe or order what surgery to take place, but then you would have a surgeon that physically does the surgery. So that was never a problem or an issue for me. But yes, he does actually. I saw him on the day of the procedure. I saw him about 3 times. So you have the initial consultation with him in the morning where he talks about the kind of hairline that they're going to create for you. He asks about the history of your hair loss and any kind of hereditary hair loss that runs within your family. Then you have the discussion about what kind of hairline you would like, whether it's realistic and achievable. Then when you're having your surgery, he doesn't appear in the operating room, but halfway through the day he did come in and see that everything was okay. So he does about halfway through checkup, just to see that everything's going okay. So it was really nothing more than a kind of thumbs up and are you okay, and then off he goes again. And then he'll come and see you again at the end of the day. So as I was saying a little bit earlier, when you have your 2 hours after the surgery where they just have to sit you in a waiting room and check that you're okay, that the anaesthetic doesn't have any kind of side effects with you, that you don't pass out or go giddy or whatever it is that they're looking to check on you. Before you're discharged from the hospital, Dr. Bowie will come and check the site and he'll give you a once over just to make sure that you are okay to be discharged from the hospital. So yes, about 3 times during the day I saw him. Of course, I have to go back. You have to go back the following day as well. And this is so that they can kind of officially discharge you from the program itself. And then they give you the okay to fly home. So you see him again during this time, and that's when he will again check up to see that the site is okay. And he will provide your translator with any kind of further guidance that you might need. So as I was saying, I had quite a severe scab that had really clotted here on the front. So my advice from him was to try and remove that scab as quickly as possible, just to prevent any kind of stunting of the growth from the follicles that had been implanted underneath that scab. So yeah, you will see him. He does make an appearance. He's not a ghost. It is reassuring as well. So I understand people's concerns with that, but I'd just like to put anyone's mind at ease if they do decide to go with elite hair transplant, that Dr. Bowie will make an appearance, if not several appearances, during the time that you are there. It's great questions, Darren. Thank you for all your support as well, mate. I really hope it all goes well for you and your hair transplant. And we got another question here from Andrew, and Andrew asks, how much was my visa? So I do actually have a video on buying the visa, Andrew. If you want to go back onto my page and look through, it's probably one of the first 5 videos that I did. My visa cost $20, so that equated to around about £15. And if you actually watch that video, there's a link in the description below that will allow you to purchase your visa from the same site that I did. You won't need anything else other than a tourist visa. I know that there is talk about people requiring medical visas. They're not required at all. I didn't have any questions asked when I was going through the Turkish border. They saw my visa, they stamped my passport, that was it, done. No problems whatsoever. I got quite scared because somebody was saying you won't get through the border if you're having a hair transplant and you haven't got a medical visa. Didn't have any such problems, so I just want to alleviate anybody's concerns right now that you won't need a medical visa. You're absolutely fine with the tourist visa. But thank you for your question, Andrew. All the best, mate. And so that's everything for today. So if anybody does have any questions, pop them in the comments below and I'll answer them in the next video. That will be week 6 update. Hopefully we'll have a little bit more progress by that point. But I'm guessing that over the next couple of weeks, we're not really going to see anything too significant with my hair. Now that the shedding has stopped, we're going to go into a dormant phase where we won't see any growth at all. But who knows? Let's see what happens next week. For now, thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support. Like and subscribe if you'd like to follow my journey. But for now, thank you everybody for watching. See you soon. Bye-bye.